Okay, hi Rob. Just as we talked about when I was up visiting you last Friday, just a little talk through how to use Results Plus. Um, if you go to Edexcel's homepage, which you can just find by either typing Edexcel into Google or just going to www.edexcel.com, you'll see that Results Plus is one of the quick links, so that you can select that, and that will take you to the home of Results Plus. I suggest that you then put that in your bookmarks or your favourites. If you don't have a username and password, as I said at the time, the exams officer is probably the person to speak to set that up for you. That's normally who does it in most schools. I'm just going to type in my username and password here. And just to give you a flavour of what it can do and why it's so useful. And it works on different levels, obviously, as sort of looking at a departmental level, you can use it for analysis and things, but also the students can really get good feedback on where they've gone wrong and use it to help them improve over the short and medium term. So I'll just log in, and here we go. Right, so we're into our centre, Forest Hill School. You can see there's our centre number, etc, etc, all the different qualifications that we offer. I'm going to select GCSE, and I'm going to go to the June 2010 examinations. And once you've selected those two, which are pretty self-explanatory, you have three options here: show me results, spreadsheets for this session, create edit classes or groups for this session, and show me the results and analysis for this session. Okay, the first one we'll come back to, but the one, probably the most useful one to start with, is this one at the bottom here, and I'm going to select that, and you'll see it open up in a new window. And it brings us to this page here. I'm just going to maximize that, and what this does is it gives you an idea basically of your breakdown, your A stars to C's, and your Edexcel average. Now, of course, what you have to do is you have to put this into context. This is for all the students that were entered in June 2010. So the reason it's 296 is because we've entered a lot of our year 10s in. This is not our final year 11 published result. So just sort of an idea, that is basically the feedback on all the people that we entered for that examination. We can have a quick look at how they compare with last year for the linear and the modular if we want to, and we can just click there to compare the results. It's just useful. It's quite quick. You can do that. Nothing amazing about it, but it just is quick and easy. I'm just going to go back here to results menu, and we can look at subjects as well. As a subject, let's just talk about linear view paper analysis. This is quite useful to look at when you're looking at the whole cohort to see how they performed. Skills maps, you can see the averages, so very, very quickly you get an idea of how the cohorts perform. Now you can see, like here for instance, question 6D was not done at all well, and if you click here, that will then take you to the skill, find the rule for a sequence of diagrams. And that's quite a useful thing to quickly have at your disposal, I would suggest. And certainly this is something we look at sort of a departmental level, and we know the topics that we're weak on as a cohort. Okay, so that's just a brief outline now. That's quite quick and easy. Back to results menu again. The other one that's really, really useful is to do it for a specific student. Now I've spoken to the student, and I have permission to sort of show you how it would work for just this one lad, and it was Marcus Jackson, and we'll have a quick look at his students' results. And as you can see here, straight away he was very close to a C, and he only missed it by a few marks. What we can do is we can look at his individual paper, and this is very, very useful, and we can have a look at his analysis, and we can see here, as I said to you when I visited, the first 10 questions are key, and we can see question 2 he's not got anything, question 4B, question 3 part 2, and so on. He hasn't scored heavy enough. 8A and 8B hasn't scored heavy enough. Question 9 hasn't scored heavy enough. We can link that to the skills map again here really quickly. Find the class interval of group data which contains the median. So obviously I need to go over that with him. If we go back to the analysis here, you can see his scoring is pretty much non-existent after question 20, which is sort of the harder stuff, but he's hardly scored any marks there. So there's a lot of work to be done with this student if he's going to get higher than a C at the end of year 11 as well. But we can target his weaknesses, and we did do this. And for instance, standard form was one of the things that came out, and I did that with him last week. So we're really confident in the November exam after half term that this lad will have worked on his weaknesses and that he'll get that C in that November examination. Just to give you another thing here, rather than having to go too far, you can find the examination papers that he sat, the examiner feedback, and the mark schemes that relate to those papers very quickly just by selecting the exam docs up here. It's a really quick and easy way to do some analysis, either for the whole cohort or for a group if you've imported the group yourself, or for an individual. And that was just to give you a quick flavour. It's very useful. I'm going to go back to the actual results menu, and I'm actually going to close that session there, and I'm going to go back to here. If you want to actually have a look and do your own analysis type thing here and then filter it, you can actually download the paper analysis. I'm not actually going to do this because it's got all the student names on it, and I can't do that. But if you do that, it will put it into a spreadsheet which you can open in Excel and then do your own analysis. And it's amazing how many times you see institutions that actually do this themselves when it's already done for them pretty much within Results Plus. So just bear in mind that you can actually download all of that information into a spreadsheet straight away into Excel and then do lots and lots of analysis quite quickly and quite easily. You don't have to collate any of that yourself. I hope that's useful. It's just a bit of an introduction, and when I meet up with you on the 12th we can discuss it more if you're interested. So I'll leave it there for now.